when I was like 11, because what was it? It's like the first day of year 7, which is like a different school, a different environment. I don't even know what happened. I just started crying for no reason. Like, it's actually the worst first day I've ever had. And yeah, so then they were like talking to me, and then the school basically was like, oh, she needs to get checked up. And then like a week later, then they checked on me, and then yeah, that happened. I was diagnosed.
Autism spectrum disorder, shortened down to autism, is a disorder that affects the communication and social interaction of an individual. It's a disorder that both of my siblings Jade and Parry have. My mum only recently pushed for Jade's diagnosis after she found it hard transitioning from primary to secondary school.
She was always different, but I just thought she was really more intelligent than everyone else. She was developed faster than everybody else. But it wasn't until she went into nursery that I realised how far ahead that she was with everybody else. And then when she was in nursery, she went backwards and became behind everybody else.
Even the smallest noise can affect me. Like, from like waking up, I just like start to think of what I shouldn't do. And like even small things like walking down the street, I have to keep focus on my hands and how I'm walking.
Autism is a spectrum disorder that varies in the way that it affects people. Autism spectrum disorder is generalised into 3 different sectors: high-functioning autism, autism, and severe autism, with severe autism affecting the person to an almost critical extent. Jade and Parry both have high-functioning autism, but even then they have different sets of things that affect them. Jade's autism affects her social and emotional state, with traits close to anxiety and depression, whereas Parry's autism affects his speech, not allowing him to voice his opinions and finding it hard to read emotions. Autism cannot be categorised into a single trait, leaving researchers in a daze.
I think nobody knows what it is. It's there's no kind of brain scan or physiological test that can pick it up. And from my understanding, it's a set of behavioural characteristics which people display across a huge spectrum, from people who work full-time with minimal disruptions to their life, to people who need 24-hour care from an adult for the rest of their life, and everything in the middle as well. From a physical point of view, a lot of the time we have some sensory difficulties, so walking on their tiptoes, a delay in their skills compared to their peers, and those are kind of like the things which I assess for, but usually there's other behaviours on top of that which are like repetitive behaviours, sensory seeking behaviours, or kind of like difficulty socialising, obsessions with certain toys, problems in school as well with attention and things.
When he was going to mainstream school, just having too many children around him would set him off. He wouldn't think to take a drink of water. Someone has to continually ask him, are you hot? Do you want to take off your jumper? Do you want to have a drink? If you don't ask him, he would never do it himself. It's not because he doesn't know that he's hot or thirsty. It's just because they just don't connect the 2 dots together. It just makes things a bit harder, because not so much with Jay, but with her brother, it would be like having a much younger child with you, but they're a lot bigger and stronger than a young child. Jade, it was more about she found it difficult to make friends, and when she was younger.
It wasn't that hard, like I can make friends, but it's only when they realise that I'm kind of different then it gets hard. I'm really good at like making friends. It's just that what comes after, I kind of struggle in that.
I don't blame people. They just think, well, this person hasn't said anything for the last 10 minutes in this group conversation, I'll leave them alone. But actually they don't say anything because they can't.
In the beginning I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I was pretending to be doing things so I could get the easy way out. And then when I started growing older and realising, I started to think about how people judge me too quickly on the fact that they heard that I had autism. And now I'm always thinking about other people's opinions of me.
So when somebody is diagnosed with autism, I think it affects them predominantly. I think everyone involved in the child's life is affected. I think it can be very, very difficult. I think it can have a big effect on kind of everyone involved's life.
Having 2 autistic kids have taken an emotional and physical toll on my mum.
Yeah, I'm always tired. I'm always tired, but I can't sleep because I'm always ready to wake up in case there's an issue. Because like Jade used to have night terrors. Parry used to just wake up in the night and start doing weird stuff, like randomly shouting that he's hungry, or it's too cold, can you give him a blanket, or it's too hot. Just getting up and putting all the lights on and stuff in the middle of the night. So now I'm too sensitive and I just wake up.
I don't know how people can look after them all the time, and I think there has to be lots of kind of carers involved and lots of support, both physically and psychologically for the family, and lots of kind of sibling time with the parents as well. I think there has to be a very good kind of organised plan in place.
Although autism has no cure, my mum has seen a change for the better.
I think that Jade will. I think for sure that Jade will be able to live on her own and take care of herself by herself. With Parry, I'm not sure, but he's been improving. 2 years ago, there's things that he couldn't do that he can now do. You wouldn't even get a smile out of him before. Now he really does try to actually make a little bit of eye contact as well. He might not be ready to leave home at 18, maybe 25 or 30, but he might do it. Fingers crossed.
I want to be an illustrator. I'm doing art, yeah. I'm doing drama, and I'm doing music. And yeah, those are things I'm going to do.
I think that children with autism are, a lot of the time, they're not accepted in society now. Judge the parent, don't judge the child. And if they're acting differently, I think just say hello. They might not be verbal, they might not be able to talk, but I think saying hello is fine. And these kids want to talk and they like that interaction, even if they can't talk back to you. So I think just opening your mind and just wanting to educate yourself and asking as many questions as you can is great.
There's still a lot to go when it comes to accepting autism, though I hope to raise awareness on the disorder and show that people affected with autism, like my siblings, may act differently and need to have a helping hand every so often, are still human like us, exploring and learning in modern day society.
Dorothy. Hey, what's poppin'? I'm really joking. Hi. Hi. That's so good. I feel like I said it so bad. And then, oh my god, let me just focus on me. Focus on me. Focus on me.
We're locked in.
We can't get out.
You can't get out.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Bye.
You come on face.
Yeah, whatever.